Steiny and Guru, 95.7 The Game, joined by Willard and Dibs.
Our guys.
What's up?
Let me start. You take a playoff. Right?
Go.
So,
Wow.
this is my guy, I love him.
What's
The
up?
theme of the show has been, and I don't want to, I'm giving the Niners props.
Okay.
Guys, I'm just having problems seeing a close game Saturday. And that's all.
That's fine.
Hey, in Green Bay, you shocked the world, but I think Dallas had a lot to do with it too, not minimizing the shock. But now you're facing Rocky in his prime. And off a weak rest, too. I'm a watch.
Rocky in his prime was never dominant.
When he won it, when he beat Apollo, he
was an underdog.
When he worked out hitting the meat, remember that? That
he was an
his
underdog.
prime. Yeah, but it was
He was
still
one of the biggest underdogs in boxing
That
history.
was his prime when he was getting ready. Hey, there.
Bad announcer.
Yeah.
So mad at him right now.
After he beat Drago, then he wasn't dominant.
Yeah, he
by
got
then.
beat. Come
At a
on.
certain point.
Not many of the movies were about his dominance.
No.
Right.
He always had a
And when he
big
beat
challenge.
Should have been. I'm
when he
still
beat
waiting.
Drago, he was like 27-11.
Yeah.
I forgot he collected money too. I went back showing little Daryl Rocky. I forgot he collected the bread.
Wait,
he was easy.
Are people coming at you for thinking that a 10-point spread is going to be a blowout game?
No,
that's what most people think about 10-point
But
spread.
Steiny said,
Spread.
how would Niner fans react if it were 20-10?
No, and I love it. I love this.
Yeah,
and
I'm like-
I had thoughts
go
on
ahead.
this.
Go ahead. Go.
And I think that the thoughts are nuanced, and Steiny would like this because if the Niners win 10-0, you're going to think one thing. And if they win 20-10, you're going to think another. If they win 30-20, you'll think another. If they win 40-30, you'll think yet something else. So I think that the 10-point spread discussion it's nuanced based on what that 10-point spread is.
But it was
See, I actually don't.
30-20 would be the one that you want.
Yeah.
Correct.
Of that group.
Correct.
And, you would like a late touchdown by the Packers to make it 30-20.
Right, 30-13,
Willard, yes.
Jordan Love, yada, 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 Romeo Dobbs, who
But
cares,
it wouldn't
whatever.
change your thoughts on the net. It's about
course it
advancing.
would.
So I was telling Steiny, if they play Detroit, I wouldn't look at the Niners and be like, oh, they only won by 10. I'm looking at this game like the Niners are looking at the Packers like, wake me up when we get to Detroit or Baltimore.
You might.
Now, they may not play that way, but I don't believe
But if they win 40-30 and they're up 33-30 and the Niners get like a late touchdown to win 40-30,
what are the Jackals?
we're saying, my God,
Why'd
Steve
they
Wilkes,
score
go
30?
back up in the
Yeah,
booth.
why'd they score 30?
And the way the game goes will in some way impact what you think of their chances moving forward.
We do that every week.
If the Niners win, this was my main point.
No, and I loved it earlier.
If
I
the
had to stop
Niners
the
win
car. I was so enthralled.
20-10, Niners win 20-10.
Okay.
McCaffrey runs for 142 yards, 2 touchdowns. Brock pedestrian, 15 for 25, 180 yards,
Couple picks.
no touchdowns, and a pick or two.
Okay.
We'd be talking
And they
about
win
Brock.
20-10. My point is, even though they will have covered the spread, we will come in here Monday and be like, oh my God.
Yeah, you wouldn't love
We've
it.
got trouble.
You wouldn't love
Maybe it's not going to be as easy as we thought.
Well,
maybe we are here because too many people think it's going to be 34-7.
Well, no, I agree with you
And
also
it could
because
be.
but we're at a time in the playoffs where emotions run much higher and therefore the overreactions which are normal under regular circumstances only get
Steroids.
heightened.
Okay.
Absolutely. They beat the Green Bay Packers doors off 4 years ago, and we came in here and went, they didn't throw the ball.
No.
That up,
What's
right.
going on?
Exactly.
They didn't trust
What's
Jimmy.
going
Yeah,
on?
well, Jimmy took a
Right.
hit on that.
So,
Yeah.
and in fact,
Fairly, rightfully so.
Here's a better way to even prove the point.
Man.
Some people think that the Packers are going to give the Niners a game, and the only reason they think that is because of last week. Nobody thought a damn thing about this team. Nobody lost 1 minute of sleep. I never heard one person say Jordan Love was a star.
Austin and
I
San Jose
never
Paul saying that.
heard one thing about the Packers being scary.
Yeah.
And now this week,
We got that.
oh, damn.
Yeah,
you can't stop them. Why? Because you watched 4 quarters that look good.
Well, they are 7-2 in their last 9.
Exactly.
Right, with losses to the New York Giants.
DeVito.
I mean, yes, they beat the Chiefs. You can go game by game, though. And
Niners couldn't beat the Rams.
No doubt. But what I'm saying is
every week is different.
Whoever wins the Detroit Tampa Bay game, they're gonna be. Look at Detroit. Yeah. They can look. Tampa Bay playing the best football of the season when it matters most. I know, and this is part of the psychology of how good people think this team is. I mean, 34-7. You're going into the game. It's going to be hard. It's going to be harder.
I think 34-23 is more likely than 34-7.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be shocked at 37-7 like that. I wouldn't be shocked.
I'd be shocked because Green Bay, I think, has enough offensively to where they should be able to score. And
Armstead is back.
I see that more about game flow. Neither one of them would surprise me at all. But where this gets out of hand, and Tucker was really good with you guys on this, and so was Olsen this morning with Bonte and Joe. This is a game flow thing with regard to Aaron Jones. Okay, to me, that's where this whole thing starts and finishes. If the 49ers go up 10-0 at the end of the first quarter, absolutely it's going to be 34-7. Absolutely.
Wow.
Because the Packers will become one-dimensional and the Niners will kill them. But it absolutely could become 27-24 if the Packers go up 10-0 and now you've got everything at your disposal. You can get into play action. Aaron Jones is running at 6 or 7 yards a clip. That's what's going to determine it. So either, to me, they're both believable. 34-7 is more believable because I don't look at that as, the Niners blew them out. I look at that as the Niners got the game flow in their favor. And once we know this already, when the Niners get going downhill after one quarter, the score is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 31 to somewhere in the neighborhood of 14. That's the way they go. So if they win the first quarter, they're going to kill them.
And speaking of game flow, we saw LaFleur take the kick. He won the toss and didn't defer against Dallas. I was like, this is over. What a mistake. And Steiny was like, he would do the same thing because the Niners are different from behind.
We don't even need
but not to me. I would want to see my defense first and have the Geico of, if this thing gets off the track early, at halftime we get a possession. To kind of, start from fresh. But if we defer and we don't score, or we elect to get the ball and don't score, then it could go down that track of, they scored. They did it.
They got down 7. The 49ers have been down 7-0 a couple times this year, and they just came and scored on their first
go
but
when, I
think about when you were a salesman, and you were either door-to-door or telemarketing or cold call, whatever it was, you want to put your best foot forward. And if I'm LaFleur and I'm putting my best foot forward in this game, it's my offense. It's my hot young quarterback. It's my cadre of young receivers. It's my running back. And I want to do what I did to Dallas. I want to go 12-play, 75-yard, 7-minute touchdown against Levi's. And I want to say, all right, Kyle,
good luck with that.
Then we don't need a toss.
Exactly.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
You said that yesterday.
We can agree right now.
Let's go. Call the league. Give the ball to the Packers. Let's
First
play.
ever. The captains come out. Today's coin is non-existent.
Because I promise you, as we all know, Kyle would love the defense to be on the field first.
Of course, he always does.
It is a little counterintuitive because when you're home, and this does not speak well of Dallas, and I love what Ross Tucker told you about them, like they Avery Johnson this thing.
Oh, man.
They Avery Johnson themselves, and people who don't know what I'm talking about, they were one thing all year and got to the playoffs.
Why would you do that?
And changed their entire strategy.
Don Nelson.
I should fire you just for doing that.
Too bad they didn't.
12-5. Great regular season.
And I'm sorry.
It hurt.
I hate to side with 3 Chains because I've known him for
warrior.
I've known him for decades.
Last night, Dibs, and didn't stab you in the back.
Dude, take the pouty face off of X. He was right.
Okay.
He was right.
He said I was crying.
There were no tears, but your face. And I woke up this morning, and Mark, you and I, Mark, are the same way, and I'm sure Steiny, whatever, you're the same. You wake up, and it's like you look at your phone, and you either go to the IG or you go to X, and I go to X, and I look, and the first thing I see is the mustachioed coworker, sad face, and I was like, man, I wonder what this is about.
Well, fresh haircut, Mark, but it doesn't need to
Looking good, man.
Let me ask you this.
That's great. Yeah.
It's early 2024, and my partner and I talk a lot. We have a lot of conversations.
We have a radio show.
But my favorite is the one we had about 10-15, and it was about ball coaching, basically NFL ball coaches, and what's expected of them. And I believe a ball coach manages with fear, and I think Kyle Shanahan, there's a respect factor to where he doesn't have to do the rah-rah or the Mike Singletary, but if you look at his track record, nobody's ever called him out. And I think some teams like Dallas have bozos like McCarthy, even though he won a Super Bowl. And sometimes I think that falls on deaf ears. And we just had a debate about what traits are needed. And I can tell you, Kyle is respected enough to where his teams, even when they lose, will never not show up. Like what look like the Eagles, they look like those two teams collectively look like they quit. And that's why Kyle's guys have never, they play physical. Even in losses.
Can we talk about the premise for a second?
Yeah.
You think Kyle Shanahan manages with fear?
I think they respect him enough to where they're on their P's and Q's to go out when they play. They know there's hell to pay if they half-ass.
I actually don't think it's fear. I think it's like matter of fact.
Fear is over. Fear is over. And I coach now, and I coached then, and I coached back in the 80s and 90s, and I know I never coached at the pro level, but you look at these athletes now, and your kids, and your kids, and your kids,
I tried to parent
and
with
my
fear.
kids. You can't parent with fear anymore. You can't coach with fear anymore. And these guys, all they want is what Tayshaun Gibson said.
Straight shooter.
And we played it yesterday.
Yeah.
Be honest with me. Be a straight shooter. Communicate. Be fair. Treat me as a man. And I think that's the new fear is tough love. And you think about who coaches with fear right now. If it's Greg Popovich, how's that working out for you, Pop?
By the way, he doesn't coach Wembanyama with fear. If you've looked at some of the stuff. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. I just think, like, when I look
fear
at
is over.
When I look at Shanahan and Ayuk years back, like, I don't think it was fear. I just think, like, it was almost like Shanahan. You're not playing until you start doing it my way.
Yeah, exactly.
Not even going to make a big deal out of it.
No,
it's like you're
respect too. Steiny.
Absolutely, but it's not punitive. Like it's not. They're not ultimatums. Do this or then. It's just like, all right, we're going in a different direction.
But what about motivation? Because that was part of the Steiny's point too.
I mean,
like these guys self-motivate, but what if you're bad at it? And what if it looks like you're lethargic? On the biggest stage,
then you better have a team that is veteran-laden, like the 49ers do, and doesn't need a rah-rah guy. They need execution. Like, that's the way I look at it.
That also, I think, starts, at least with this particular team, it started before the year even happened. I mean, these guys have talked about this repeatedly, where they are obsessed with finishing this off.
Right.
They're obsessed with it. And so I don't think Kyle, at least my perception is, I don't think you need any win one for the Gipper speeches before these games. There has been something growing inside of them from before the year, and for those who have been here for more than 1 year, the seed has been planted with all of the near misses. Like, they are so focused on the end, maybe to the point where, look, I mean, they lost focus a couple of times this year. They admitted it. Fred Warner in Jacksonville, losing streak over. His words were, I hope we learned our lesson. That says to me that they lost their edge a little bit. But that's been there.
Okay, real quick, you got me thinking Saleh and D'Amico Ryans. Just to Kyle's credit, he hired those guys. Those were the rah-rah for the defense, but they fed off of that.
Yeah, but they're energetic, but I don't think that means they coach with fear. You know what I mean? Like, did you see the highlight of D'Amico?
That was dope, man.
Did y'all see that?
Yeah, that was dope.
The pick six?
That was dope.
Where he's sitting there with an iPad with his DB.
That was
and he's
tight.
like, here's the way this is going to play out.
Man.
And I want you to read the quarterback's eyes and go. And when you do it
was clean.
you're going to get a pick. And he looked at him as his kid's walking away, and he goes, trust me. Trust me.
If you believe,
boom, pick six. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
D'Amico almost jumped out of his pants. He was so excited.
Yeah, that was.
It was great coaching.
But so you expect, like, let's go to another sport. Steve Kerr's responsibility to motivate Andrew Wiggins. Like, to me, it's good luck with that.
Well,
like, fire him right now.
I'll say this:
I'm talking about Kerr
the
because
furnace
that's
is
unfair.
off, I believe, on the Steve Kerr stove or anybody in the Warrior world about Andrew Wiggins. But if your report is correct, and here comes Jason Kidd and the Dallas Mavericks guys, and they want to trade for Andrew Wiggins, that leads me to believe they think their furnace has the necessary heat to get Wiggins jump-started. And my only fear about Wiggins is, and you could call me crazy and I'm loving hard, is when he plays, he's got some attributes.
Right.
It's about getting that furnace lit. So if Dallas comes and does something maybe different than Kerr and Jason Kidd, like that could be a big pickup for Dallas.
Andrew Wiggins is like going swimming at Ocean Beach in San Francisco. If it's really, really warm and it's really, really nice and the ocean gets up to like 60, you might go in there. There's still an undertow, but you might catch that one day where it's like, oh yeah, I got my shirt off in the city, I'm at the beach, and I'm going swimming. It's like 1 or 2 days a year.
You're also missing the fact that the Warriors need Andrew Wiggins to be their second best player. The Dallas Mavericks need him to be their fourth best right now.
And I like that. And I think that's why it might be a good trade. And you asked, is it Steve Kerr's job to motivate Andrew Wiggins? Yes, it is. But if you go through 12 different ways to do it, which is give him his space, tough love, start him, play him more, play him less, off the bench, play him more, play him less, play him with Kuminga, don't play him with Kuminga, do what he needs to do, give him room, give him this, give him that. If you run out of things to do and he still doesn't respond, well, at that point, it's not Steve's fault anymore.
Do you really think that that's the right word? I get what you're saying.
I like that.
Motivate?
Yes.
I don't think it's Steve Kerr's job to motivate.
Why not?
It's Steve Kerr's job to get the best out of Andrew Wiggins.
That's coaching. I don't find that to be motivation.
Well, part of coaching is motivation.
Is Matt Nahagian's job to motivate us?
It is if you're not doing your job.
Yeah,
and these guys had a great conversation earlier about, Guru saying, he's called you at home. And Steiny's like, he's never had to motivate me. If you don't have a good show, or if I don't have a good show, and it's like...
Better example.
Right. Well,
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm listening.
No, go ahead, because you have perfect show after show. You talk 81% of the time, so I get my 19%. It's a lot harder to do what I do, getting 12 minutes to try and get that impact.
I think it's semantics. I don't think that motivate that.
What about inspire?
That
Will?
feels.
I know I'm stepping on you.
Sure,
inspire.
They're all attached. They're all attached, but like I have a hard time with. I'm 28 years old, and you pay me $25 million. And you need to be hired. You got to hire someone to come motivate me? Oh, God. And that's totally on Andrew.
Well, Steph doesn't need to get motivated, and Draymond doesn't, and Clay doesn't need motivation. Clay needs something else.
Well,
every player needs something.
Correct.
Andrew needs motivation.
But I don't know if that's possible.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Then he's off to Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think every player is different. I don't think Kevon Looney needs motivation. Kevon Looney, it's like, hey, Kevon, you playing tonight? Of course, I haven't sat out in 4 years. All right, Kevon, you're getting 18
Willard,
minutes.
give us this. You think they've tried to motivate and jumpstart Wiggins?
Oh, my God.
But they tried.
I don't...
Willard, he's right.
He's 30 years old. Motivation. We're in the NBA. It's over. It's over. The ship has sailed. There's no motivation anymore. There's no Bobby Knight. What are we doing?
It was one of the games against Dallas 2 years ago where he had like 12 boards.
Yeah.
Right? Remember that?
Yeah.
And everyone was, oh my gosh, a career high. Career high rebounds. And Draymond walked into the locker room after the game and goes, career high? You've never had 12 boards in a game before?
But that's
with this athletic set?
Not good job.
You've never had 12. What's the matter with you?
Yeah.
That's the inherent sort of like motivation and style that's been there for Andrew. It works in moments. It doesn't work in others.
We continue to prop up a guy who's telling us over and over and over, I don't care. Let's put the rat on the table, Goo, with Wiggins.
It's been on the table, man.
Come on now.
Yep.
That's all. Hey, by the way, did you hear about not quite a rat, but
oh boy,
we may have an issue in the building.
Here we go, dude.
So we're sitting in the lunchroom preparing for the show. Guru walks in. We were preparing, and then Guru walked in. No, that's a joke. So anyway, we're all sitting around the table.
I get that.
With Evan, and the next thing you know, we heard a noise like.
Evan and I heard the noise.
Well, I heard it after I realized you heard it because it sounded more like a bird to me. But there's something going on. We think there's something in the nook and cranny.
It was kind of heavy, Willard.
Of course there is.
Well, hold on.
It's a big building in San Francisco.
Well, no, I'm talking like a raccoon.
Great.
So I go up to Tim Jordan.
Right.
I don't.
10th floor.
He's
raccoon.
petrified.
The fact that you guys are not concerned is infuriating me. Nevertheless, I go to Tim Jordan.
I'm terrified.
I said, hey, I know you're going to.
And I'm overhearing this. I'm like, Tim, don't feed into it.
I said, we heard some stuff. I think there's something up in the ceiling or roof. He goes, oh, no, there is.
Oh, that hurt me.
And I said, are you serious? He's like, no, yes, there's something up there. He said, I heard it.
It ain't going to come out and get you, bud.
Why not? How do you know? That's like you saying the 49ers are going to win 34-7. It means nothing.
No, teams have won 34-7 before. A raccoon has never flown out of the 10th floor of a building and attacked a human being.
Are you guys kidding? When 7 people are in the lunchroom eating lunch.
You have that story.
Eating
a raccoon
lunch.
Comes out of the ceiling in the 10th floor of a high-rise.
Have you seen the Nooks and Crannies?
Attacks employees.
Not attacks. They're eating food.
Dude, we're not talking about English muffins here with Nooks and Crannies.
Yeah.
There's no way.
What are you crazy?
Steiny, there's no way a rodent is going to be 10 floors up.
Talk to us.
Patrolling in between floors without there being droppings or...
The droppings are in the ceiling. Dude.
I get it, Steiny.
No.
Where are they getting their food?
What
because
are you worried
about?
I'm worried about an attack.
That's what I'm saying.
But
you're not going to get attacked.
I'm also worried about just being frightened out of my mind.
Dude.
Don't you understand, Dibs? You're not here at 12.
Steiny, I get it.
No, you're not here at noon.
You're not here at 6 p.m.
There can be 7 people in the lunchroom actually eating meals.
He's for real.
3 can have a steak. 2 can have burgers, fish, chips, candy. You don't think a raccoon in the neighborhood, in the room would be like, oh, I smell food.
Yes. When you're
let me ask you this about a raccoon.
Why do raccoons
That's a
come
chance
out
I'm not
at
ready
night?
to
Steiny, if you're a raccoon, Steiny, if you're a raccoon,
they don't go through it on trash day.
Let's say you're
You
a
heard
raccoon.
a racket in the morning, by the way.
If you're a raccoon,
rabies,
and you're looking at food, and I want to survive, do I want to go up 10 floors to get food? Are you telling me that a raccoon just lives here?
Yes,
and
that's what I'm saying.
They don't ever live. They don't ever leave. They're just going to live here in the 10th floor.
What should we name the raccoon? 888-957-957.
I've got news for you guys.
He's petrified.
I believe in my text line and my Comcast business text line and my YouTube chats, and they believe that it's very, very, very possible that we've got action up here. And
no one's
You're not in
that.
any danger.
We're trying to figure out why that bothers you.
Yeah.
They're nasty.
Do you? Yes, they're nasty. Yes, you think that he's going to come into a company meeting or something and just fly through the place,
I think it's
open the door to everybody.
I think it's possible that Stephen Langford could be walking in here tomorrow morning at 5 because he's got to come in here for KCBS, and he goes click, 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 the security thing, and he's like, what the heck? Yes, I believe that that's possible.
Do you know that you're
Snakes
never,
on a plane.
no moment in your life, you are never more than inches away from a spider.
The spiders are different. It's a
Very
raccoon.
dangerous spiders. They can kill you.
Look at him.
Hey,
right now, Steiny.
Yeah.
like Dibs, what do you
spider is
take?
inches
You
away.
believe
You can never
there
work for Radco.
probably is something up there, but it doesn't matter.
It could be a rat. It's not a raccoon. And if it's a rat, honestly, he or she, they, non-binary, they want no part of you.
That is what I've learned.
They don't want to come down
Something
here.
can go
afraid of you as
wrong.
much as you're-
Like something can go wrong where they will, like they
Steiny,
feel
it's
backed
Not
into
a
a
dinosaur. Like
If
Jurassic
it comes-
I can run away from
If
a
it's
dinosaur.
you versus a rat and you come up on the losing end, then God help you.
Oh.
Did you just say something could go wrong? You're like treating this
People
raccoon
calling you a wimp,
the same
Steiny.
way
I
my
am a
mom.
wimp.
This is how my mom treats going to the airport.
Exactly.
Mom, when's your flight? 5 o'clock on Sunday. We better leave Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not.
Why?
I love to
because
get-
something could go wrong.
I get to the airport. I love
Totally
being at the airport
different.
3 or 4 hours early. I love it.
Shout out Matt at Andali on the 27th gate in Oakland.
How about this? Shout
Fantastic.
out Jordan at the Bourbon Bar in the International Terminal.
There you go.
All right. Have fun.
All right.
Good luck going to the elevator. Something could go wrong.